Well, welcome to Jakarta in Indonesia. Spain and Latvia. It's Group L. It's the last 16, the top 16 of the Basketball World Cup. Spain come here with a perfect record. Latvia with the one loss to Canada in the group. Therefore, crucial for Latvia to give themselves a realistic chance, a real chance of progressing to the quarterfinals. They need the win, and who would bet against them after that huge win over France? I'm Mark Clark, with me Shona Thorburn. They are, for me, the team that really has set the World Cup alight here in Jakarta.
Yeah, they have. They were one of the first European teams to qualify for this World Cup, so it wasn't really unexpected. They went on that 11-0 winning streak in the European qualifications against, and they beat some very good teams along that way. Big win over Lebanon on opening night, 109-70, and then that huge win over France, 88-86. They fell to Canada, 75-101. At least here in Jakarta, Canada is the strongest defensive team and the best team, in my opinion. I think, they have mental hopefuls going through. So even just to play with a team like Canada, and they hung around for a good 20 minutes against them. Well, they're going up against another European team. This might be more their style of game.
Well, I think that's definitely a great point. It's definitely going to be more their style of game. There won't be that real athleticism in terms of defense on the ball. But they, as you said, they led for most of the first half. And even when Canada had a run, they bounced back again. It wasn't really till late third quarter, fourth quarter, Canada were just relentless in the way that they put them away in that fourth quarter. And that's very similar to how this Spanish team has performed in every single game. Fourth quarter, they have run over the opponent and just emphasized, relentless, how they play as a group. It's like an away game for this Spanish national team. There's still a lot of Latvians in the crowd, and they're giving them a little bit of the bird as such coming out. You just gotta love these Latvian crowds.
I think it's great. I think it's absolutely wonderful that they are this much behind their team, and they are loving this run that they have. Their run's not over. They can get a win today against Spain. It'll make things very interesting in this second group phase of the World Cup, but first they have to get through an experienced Spanish team, maybe a different look Spanish team, meaning that they don't have a superstar or one or two superstars that they are going to, but they really, really do wear teams out. They beat Cote d'Ivoire the other night, 94-64, but that game was closer than the score. All their games were closer than the score says at the end. Brazil hung around with them for a long time, but they ended up pulling off a big fourth quarter and winning 96-78, and they beat Iran on the first game day, 85-65.
Well, Coach Scariolo is very keen to downplay their chances, but they are unbeaten. They're game first here at 4:45 local time, and then the nightcap game, Canada and Brazil, a clash of the Americas to finish the action off here on this first day of last 16 action. There's the current standings in the group based upon their first round performances. Canada and Spain, as I say, with the 0 in the loss column. Latvia need to go to 3-1. We'll be back to talk about it more after the national anthems of both countries, starting with Latvia.
We begin with the anthem of Latvia. Thank you. And please remain standing for the national anthem of Spain.
Well, a lot of respect, coaches and players. They know each other so well, these two countries. And I would echo Shona's point that may give Latvia a little bit more time than they had against the Canadian team. Talk about that a little bit more after we introduce the third team on the floor for this afternoon's game. The team of officials. Here they are. Well, the crew chief, Roberto Vazquez, Alexander Glizic, and Juan Fernandez from Puerto Rico, Serbia, and Argentina, respectively. And like the players, coming to the sharp end of the tournament for the referees, that's all. They'll want to continue their involvement in this World Cup. So they're going to get a chance to look at Latvia, and I think more than anything else, you got to note that they're dealing with injuries before they got here. Now they've got the added problem with Darius Bertrands. But how good has Zagars and the rest of this team been?
I mean, for me, the go-to player is the youngin Artur Zagars, as you see him in the starting lineup, along with Arturs Kurics, Schmitz, who's had a great performance for them, and we see Davis Bertans in the starting lineup, as well as Kurics. So he's been coming off the bench for them, as you see Rodions Kurics there. First Latvian player to reach a double-double in a World Cup. Well, it's the first time they've ever played in a World Cup, so there's not a lot to compare to, but I remember after, I think it was their second game, maybe the game against France, he only had a couple points, and coach said, you don't understand what this man does for us, a little bit of everything. And there you see Davis Bertans, who I said is actually going to be in the starting lineup. He's averaging just under 11 points a game. He had a tough go against Canada. Finished with 7 points, 1 of 7 from three-point range. Obviously, Luka Banki has confidence in him, though, putting him in the starting lineup. And that one three-pointer against Canada was actually late in the game, when the game was already over. They were good looks, they just weren't going in. And the way that this Latvian team, they need to knock down open shots to give themselves a chance to win.
Well, that's been the key for them, and they do share the ball. Team is the operative word for Latvia. Tremendous win over France, never led until the last minute of the game, and their belief in each other is going to be tested tonight, because this Spanish lineup, we're going to get a look at the starting lineup in a moment. Current Eurobasket champions, defending World Cup champions, go with this starting lineup, and Alberto Diaz in the lineup, which is an interesting addition.
You know what, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Diaz on Zagars to slow him down, along with Claver Hernan-Gomez brothers and Sergio Yul. So I think that's a defensive mindset about that starting five for Coach Scariolo. As you see, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, he had a big game the other night, 21 points against Iran, his best in a World Cup. And all of these Spanish players, they're only averaging around 20 minutes a game. So it just shows you there's no real superstars. I guess you could say that Willy Hernan-Gomez is a superstar for this team, MVP of last year's Eurobasket on that gold-winning team, 16 points against Iran. He has been consistent, but no superstars like Scariolo has had in the past. And that's where I really think we see them just wear teams down, because every time someone checks into the game, the intensity, the energy, the level of basketball, it never goes down with the Spanish team.
Well, That's been the key for them across these, literally, fourth quarters, they have dominated games. The other people who've dominated, you're getting some pictures there of these Latvian fans, they have really made Jakarta a temporary community for Latvia. Must be very quiet in Riga and various other cities in Latvia, because there's been an enormous number of these fans, and they have been a real reason and a real part of the success of this Latvian lineup. That point you made, I think, was really interesting to explore again, Shona, is that as a European team, Canada just, when they play Canada, they were under so much pressure. As a European team, Spain will play great defense, but it won't be that same quickness on the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the same quickness, athleticism, or length as they experienced against Canada, as both coaches giving some last-minute tips there. And you know, you and I, we've only been here in Jakarta. We've been following a little bit. As you see, Spain have won their last 11 games. It's the longest winning streak in the World Cup, and that dates back, obviously, to 2019, where they ended up winning the entire tournament. It's Canada, they just know how to shut people down, because they can switch 1 through 5. And they can also put pressure on the guards. I think, you know, to start the game against Latvia, I don't want to say that they didn't respect Latvia, but I don't think they were used to as much of the off-ball motion and offense and getting looks for players away from the ball. And Latvia came out early and knocked down some shots. And there it is, the TISO countdown. We are a minute away from tip-off.
Well, Sergio Scariolo taking every last second before the Spanish lineup come out to start the game. Latvia already on the floor. You get a real sample then of this huge Latvian crowd. It really is like they're playing in the arena in Riga, and it has been for every game they played. That's surely going to be a factor for them. But Spain, there isn't a world stage. They haven't been successful on various silver medals at the Olympics. Two-time World Cup winners, current Eurobasket champions. They just have, as some of our colleagues say, that it's in the DNA of Spain to know how to win in these competitive tournament play. Both teams buy into the concepts of the team. This could be, for basketball fans anywhere, this could be one of those classics. Well, welcome to Jakarta. Latvia in that burgundy uniform, Spain in the white. Bertrands will move the ball on. Schmitz with the early screen for Zagars. Gets inside, little second step. Gets the sweet little roll. Well, Zagars has just exploded. He was a great player when he arrived here, but he's now on the world stage as a real superstar guard. Gill comes off the screen. Schmitz will help. They go upstairs. Great little pass. Super hands on the far side of the ring. And Willian Gomez. And both teams take it to the ring for the first 2 possessions.
Well, I mentioned it. We see Diaz on Zagars.
Ball hits that second side again. It just rarely sticks. Zagars comes off the ball screen. Schmitz picks and pops. Little mishandle. 6 to go upstairs to Schmidt for 2. And both teams taking it to the gut of the defense, being aggressive and starting this game with real intent. Almost a steal. The Corks. Coach Banky was so glowing after that French game. People were talking about all sorts of people. But as you said, Johnny, 2 points in the game. They couldn't have won it without him, according to coach. Little 2 for Diaz is no good. Work on the glass as a whistle. As Juancho Hernan-Gomez goes to work on the offensive glass. So in a tournament where people love to stretch the floor, look to shoot the 3, I think Diaz's 10-footer was as far as we've been away from the hoop with an attempt. And that Spanish defense is really being stretched. It does respect the perimeter game, hence why Latvia have done the right thing on the read and taken it straight to the hoop.
I mean, they need to stretch it, especially with how well Latvia shoots the ball. And you know, they're shooting 40% from three-point range. That's a good statistic, having, you know, already played 3 games in the tournament, and also when Davis Bertans, one of, you know, your best three-point shooters, has an off night.
Going to be a whistle on the plate. Says Yule is called for the bump, and he bumped about 3 times down the floor, and then the official called it just over the halfway line. And I think that's exactly what Coach Scariolo wants to know. There was no difference in the contact 3 or 4 times, and it was then called, so he just wants to know. Because obviously his player will therefore be confused. Diath all over the passing lane. Struggle to get it in. Smits is the release. Zagars opens up a little bit, goes to Smits on the three-point line, attacks it down the lane for 2.
And you know, heads-up play there by Smits, but who cleared out the lane for them? It was, you know, just the workhorse, Rodions Kuriks, who things that he does don't show up, and we've seen a lot of players who are just...
Oh, Willie Hernan-Gomez blows the 2-footer. You better put that one down somewhere in terms of a note in your diary. I've never seen Willie miss from there. Great drive, Bertrands can't get it either. Yule pushes, and looks like he caught his ankle a little bit as he was fouled. And Juancho Hernan-Gomez absolutely wanted to get the ball inside to his brother. His brother got position. You were already putting him in the stat sheet as good. Clever gets his first touch of the basketball on the offensive end. Yule goes upstairs again. They've used that play twice now. And Willie Hernan-Gomez is going to go to the line to earn the 2. It's interesting in that if Latvia switch, instead of trying to post up, they're just throwing it over the guard.
Yeah, you said it. They've gone twice to Willie underneath, found the mismatch early. Obviously, I think, you know, the fact that they've done that very technically, it had to be something that they talked about in the scout. Hey, they're probably going to switch, so go ahead right away and throw it up to Willie Hernan-Gomez underneath the basket. How about this, though? We have 2 sets of brothers playing in this game. How proud must parents be right now?
And the only reason we don't have 3 is because of Bertrands' injury.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's still on the roster, so.
Still there with the captain.
Still there.
Yep.
He's suited up.
Zagars gets inside, needs a pass, finds Kuriks, extra pass to his brother. He doesn't get the 3 to drop. Yule leads the break. They go again inside. Hernan-Gomez stays with a player, misses both, and Smits can't control it. And the shot clock ran on. See, I'd have thought they'd have stayed at 21 because Smits had it, and then it came off his leg after he controlled it, but the official saying he didn't really have control of the basketball. Kuriks will sit down. Clever off the screen. Yule comes off the screen, hard show. They've got to recover. Right, they're going to have to find a different way because at the moment, Spain read that switch and just lob it up to the ring, say, go get it. They better sort it out before Garuba comes in because it could get highlight time for Spain, because if they throw it up there, he'll be throwing it down. Zagars with a little floater off the glass, soft touch for 2.
God, and how much confidence is he playing with right now?
Serious
he was the best player for them in that huge win over Spain. 22 points, I believe it was. Sorry, over France.
Sergi Yule stops and pops, and both teams, well, you'd expect this now. This is obviously game 4, plus their preparation games, really clicking into a nice rhythm offensively. Roland Smits tries to go to work, gets the drop. And Smits wants the foul as well. Obviously, Smits spent a lot of time in the ACB, Fuenlabrada, Barcelona. Will be well known to everybody in a white uniform. Yule gets to the corner, goes inside, great rotation defensively by Bertrams. In the corner for three is no good, just on the buzzer. There's a whistle on the offensive foul. It's going to be called on Willie Hagen Gomez. Well, there's the push.
Yeah.
Grazulis did a good job making sure the official had to see that. Clearly a foul. I mean, it's not as if he was faking it. Just cannot say enough great things about Zagars, the way he has grown into this point guard leader role on this Latvian team. Smits. Yeah, they're going to turn that over. Spain do, I mean, you mentioned it, Spain do a really nice job at on their bench. You know, the assistant coach, Luis Gil, gets up for the defense a lot of the time. Maybe Sergio enjoys this little sit down, get a little blow.
It's a bit of a break.
Definitely a coaching team on that end, and everything Sergio Scariolo does works for this Spanish national team. He all gets to Clever. They look at that lob again, and they get the 24 clock. And Victor Clever. Sergio Scariolo wants to know why he just didn't throw the lob again.
Exact same play. It's kind of that Spanish pick and roll that they've been running. Back pick for Willie. And he was open on that play. I don't know why they didn't trust throwing it up this time.
Zagars turns the corner again, and he's just given. They're going to call that offensive. No, they're not. They're going to call the foul on Alberto Diaz.
I think they're going to say he pulled the screener down with him.
Luca Banchi was up because he thought they'd called it offensive. Sergio Scariolo was up because they did call it defensive. Maybe they should just let the referees get on with it, maybe. I was going to say, Alberto Diaz is reputationally one of the best defenders. Nunes in the game. Zagars can't get the ball to drop. And Clever comes down with it. Spain in transition, have numbers. Again, Gomez is blocked and will go to the free throw line. Just love this Latvia. It is literally, they were noisy in the games earlier on. Now,
I think if Grazulis had just stood more straight up instead of leaning into him, because his feet were set, but he leaned into him with his body. I understand the crowd, and I think just technically, if he had been standing a little bit more horizontal, he would have got the offensive foul instead.
Yeah, that's a good point. Basically, by leaning in, he initiated the contact. So, and the point you made before the game, this is a very, apart from the lob for Spain, this is a really European game.
If you like European basketball, I think we're going to be in store for an awesome game. 40 minutes.
And 1 from 2 from the free throw line. We got a new ball game. We're locked at 10 halfway through the first. Zagars will take the ball screen. Bertrand picks and pops. Schmitz in the corner is long. And Sergio, you're looking active today. Pushes, draws contact. He'll go to the free throw line, as Latvia are already in the penalty with 4:43 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, you say you think he's looking active. I do think the Spanish team, when they go up against stronger competition, they know how to raise the level of their play, and I think this is what you're seeing by one of the veterans, Sergio Yul. He's only played around 17 minutes a game, so they've had a game off every other day. He should be somewhat refreshed.
Yeah.
If you compare him to, okay, I know there's a big age difference, but Zagar is almost at 37 minutes a game and had to play some big minutes. Sorry, 27.
Makes a second of the throws. 13 years though, when you're 23, you don't care.
You don't feel anything.
You don't feel
anything. He doesn't
anything.
even need to stretch to warm up.
No.
He just goes out there, starts shooting threes.
He's ready the moment he gets out of bed. Gun did great work on the glass, but Grazoulis can't finish. Garuba clears up the mess. And Juan Nunes, who started the first 3 games, the 19-year-old.
Well, coach was a little disappointed with him after the last game. He did have 4 turnovers, made some defensive, I think it was more the defensive mistakes that he made that Coach Scariolo, but I think that's part of the learning curve as well. You're gonna expect him to, you know, have off nights, off games.
If he is gonna be one of the major pillars of the team, which is how Coach described him, when you don't perform, you're accountable for that. You know, and it's, no one knows that better than Spain in terms of how you take people through programs.
Some substitutions now for both teams as they're going into their bench.
Nunes out top, gets Euro on the screen, doesn't get the roll. It tried very hard to drop for him, but didn't. Zorix puts it on the floor, drive lane opens, backs out. Needs a pass. Nunes just has him locked on the sideline. They just about get it out of there. Skell gets it on the foul. They've got it deep on the clock now. It's going to have to make something happen. Stops, gets off the glass, and they foul. He'll go to the free throw line, and it looked a bit messy. As soon as Zagazas stepped off the floor, it all looked a bit frantic. But when it is like that, I guess Skell took responsibility.
I think it also looked frantic by the great defense by Spain. You had Nunes with Zorix just pinned to that sideline, picks the ball up, nowhere to go. And you know, I mean, Skele, Zorix, these are more experienced guys than Zagars is. So they've gone up against the Spanish team more than let's say Zagars. Even though we're a huge fan of Zagars, I mean he's newer to this program for Latvia. I think he's made a name for himself now, and moving forward, we'll be saying his name a lot more often, especially after this performance.
Well, don't forget, in addition to Porzingis, in addition to Bertrands, they're missing, you know, Skelniks, who's been in that, you know, the backcourt for Latvia for such a long time. Juan Nunes will come off the ball screen, goes inside with that lob, and they overthrow it. Juancho Hernan-Gomez probably should have collected it, didn't finish it. More movement off the Spanish bench. Zorix. Spain really beginning to turn the screw a little bit on the ball. Skell needs a pass, finds a pass. Grazoulis going baseline. Hernan-Gomez believes he didn't foul. Well, here's the...
That was a lot of ball. He might have a little bit of a case. It was called by the referee behind him, though, and every time I feel like you swipe at a ball like that, more so 60-40, the referee's going to think a foul happened than not.
Absolutely right. I mean, as well, there was actual contact when he started the dribble, and maybe that's the official, as they tend to do, let the game develop until they see the impact of the foul. There was a loss. There could have been a loss of possession. Rudy Fernandez in his 5th World Cup. You were saying yesterday the most capped Spanish player of all time, Shona, is that puts Rudy Fernandez on top of a very illustrious list of players.
When you think about it, that is actually pretty amazing, considering who has played so long for Spain. Obviously the Gasol brothers. Juan Carlos Navarro is one of actually the first who comes to mind.
Well, if you go further back, Fanyo, those names. There's more national team basketball these days as well, but he could be on course to win his 3rd World Cup, which is a first, as in no one else has ever. Obviously, there's a lot of games and a lot of hurdles to overcome. But having won in 06 and in 19, there's not a lot Rudy Fernandez hasn't done as we get a chance to sort of reflect on that while we're waiting for the free throws. Played in the NBA, has won EuroLeagues, has won everything you can possibly win national team-wise.
Yep.
So he can, when he finally retires, and he says it might be probably his last World Cup, but
he did say it was his last World Cup.
He looks in good enough shape to carry on for a long while.
Possibly we will see him next summer in Paris 2024.
Well, what a way to finish your career at an Olympic Games. That's 12 months away. What's 2:40 away is the remainder of this first half. Zorix has it, comes off the ball screen, breaks it down. Little push to Grazoulis, who gets the soft touch. Grazoulis is again one of those unsung guys. He's so good at finishing from mid-range. Aldama in the game for Spain. Santiago Aldama. Nunes stops, fires up the three, doesn't get it to drop, wasn't really in rhythm. Referee's going to talk about it. Ball will go to Latvia. And Sergio Scariolo with 2:17 to go in quarter one. Wants to talk about it. And, well, neither team, because of the quality of the defense, has really got their rhythm going. But probably you got to say Latvia look the more comfortable team at the moment.
Sí, aquí, sí, ahí. Vamos a esperar un poquito más de agresividad y de concentración. Sobre todo, si cambia ahora, Juan los cuernos, la pasamos aquí y ganamos. Y si cambia, lo vemos y vamos a jugar alto bajo, no dentro. Jugamos una puño 5, no la primera antes. Y luego a repeat, cambiamos, relevamos y jugamos. ¿Vale? Siguiente ataque. Empezamos a jugar los floppies. Cuernos y floppies.
Well, that stat there, passes per game, these two teams in the top 5. Not a surprise at all.
Not a surprise at all.
These really do share it. We saw practice before the tournament, and they worked on how they deal with a pick and roll. And as you heard Coach say, they're going to go under on the first screen, then they're going to go over, or they'll even trap it. But he seemed to be indicating they were losing that concentration away from the ball. So a team, and again in that same practice, he got very animated about how he wanted to play his defense. He knows this team is going to have to play defense to go deep into this World Cup. Let's see what reaction he gets.
Well, you saw that passing stat pop up. I mean, Spain is second in this tournament in assists per game, so it's no surprise how well that they pass the ball to each other.
Seven seconds on the possession. Spain, unfortunately, didn't get the turnover. Bertrand goes inside, super pass. Grazoulis doesn't get it to drop. And Garuba cleans up the mess. And when he decides to clean up the mess, it stays cleaned up. Abrines moves it back to Nunes. Garuba on the inside is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Garuba's just over a 60% free throw shooter in last year's NBA. For someone who's going to get fouled a lot, isn't he? That's an aspect. He could just improve his numbers by being a better free throw shooter. In this competition, though, you're looking at it right now. He hasn't taken any.
He hasn't taken a free throw,
which is a real surprise. Unless people are just deciding that when he gets it there, you're not going to stop him. So with his first free throw of the World Cup. So he's 100% from the line now. 1:43 to go. Spain with an opportunity to make this a one-point game. And we said it was going to be really technical, really tight. And the defense at the moment from both teams is probably the most impressive thing in the game. Both teams just making it so hard for either team to get any rhythm. Here's Zagars guarded by Abrines. Spain just forced you so far outside the three-point line. Zagars looks inside, Smits doesn't get. 7 on the possession. The top pullback 2 is no good. Garuba's all over the glass, he brings it. Looks for options, Nunes has it. Aldama wants it in the block. And there's going to be an off-ball foul. And that's just guys banging around in the block, in my opinion.
I mean, if it really was a foul going against Latvia, not a smart foul at all to just away from the ball.
And you
Took
expect
Spain
that
to the free throw line.
And you expect that battle, don't you, in the block? You expect
want that battle.
Yeah, you do.
You don't want to let him get low post position, and you are allowed to hit the player, prevent them from going. Didn't see a replay, so we don't know how aggressive it was, or if possibly Aldama exaggerated it a little bit.
And we haven't got a great angle on it because the official's right there. So the officials don't want it to become a war down low. Fine line between a battle and a war. Here's Zorix, turns the corner, has to back it out. Spain, as I say, really forcing Latvia deep outside, and the impact of being that far away, the impact of people switching and playing the passing lanes has generated a turnover. It's just wore them out, that one.
It's interesting. I mean, this is the fourth game that you and I have seen and called Spain play. There's a different intensity in them today, defensively.
Rudy Fernandez. He'll throw that lob. Aldama goes up, gets blocked. Bertrand's from behind him, 5 on the possession. Nunes goes strong, stops in the lane, is unsuccessful with the attempt, and here comes Zagars, who really did stay down and protect the ring. 4-second differential between possession and game clock. Zagars will hold. 2,000 Latvians are on their feet with him. To the corner, wide open. Schmitz for 3, doesn't get it to drop. Zagars, what an effort! Oh, what an effort by Zagars! The smallest Latvian on the floor just outworked everybody on the glass, gives it up for the 2. And Zagars continues to be fundamental to how well this Latvian team plays. 17-16 after 1. We have a ball game.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's not really high scoring, but you mentioned it right before the Spanish timeout with a couple minutes left in the quarter, how defensive this game has been. 54%, not bad, but they're 0 for 3 from three-point range, and have only taken 3 looks, so they're not shooting the ball as much as we often see them do from three-point range, and you have to give credit to the Spanish defense there. I think this has been such a defensive game. We saw the stats also during the timeout. Points in the paint, Spain only had 4 at that point. That is not a lot for a Spanish team that typically scores, I would say, somewhat easily in this tournament inside the key.
Well, that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Only 5 3-point attempts on the game. I mean, both these teams have come out in previous games, and every single one of the Latvian guys will shoot the 3 and shoot the 3 at a real clip. Spain, as you say, have extended their D. But it's the only inside points are the lobs for Spain. They haven't got anything else apart from those lobs.
Well, Latvia averaged 35 three-point attempts a game, and they've only shot 3. That's nothing.
So that, well, there you see the courtside 1891 QR code, everything you need to know. Or in fact, some of the stuff you might not need to know is on that courtside 1891 app. Live games, that games on demand. Download that QR code. You'll see that QR code has come up on a number of occasions during this. Here's Roland Smits on court with the ball, where he's receiving it, how effective he's been, time per touch. Just gives you a feel for how much of a huge factor that Smits is. He gets a lot of touches for this Latvian team. Nunes, yet to get himself going. It's so hard to get into a rhythm against this Latvian defense. Rudy Fernandez off the down screen is off with the 3. Zagars will push. Drops it inside. Martins goes to work. Garuba comes to double that. Zagars, feet set for 3. Can't get it to drop. Garuba recovers off the double team to get the rebound. Juan Nunes. Ball doesn't stick. Spain moving it. Travel. And you know what? It was all about Zagars off ball. Just dived into the passing lane, had no ball reversal. And I know this is going to state the obvious, but in the space of 2 days, 1 day, however long either team have had, scout the prep these coaches have put on the floor. Such a good job. Here's Zagaz. Will take the ball screen, looks to explore it. There's the Spanish way of dealing with it, going under then over. Zagaz looks inside, Smits tries to hold position. Aldin's going baseline, needs a pass, finds one, got to put it up. Great work on the glass. That's a huge rebound. Schmidt, guarded by Aldama. Inside, outside, Zagaz, extra pass to the corner for the three is no good. And a team that really couldn't miss a three can't make one.
Also a team that relies on their three-point shooting for points.
Oh, absolutely.
Even not just in this tournament, but throughout their qualification games as well.
Garuba, they have to call the blocking foul because it calls him to fall. He tried to lose contact, but really did. And Bertrands is not happy with the call, but he did leave the contact. We're going to get a replay. Have a look. He's going to say he had position. Alexander Glizic.
I think it's a 50-50 call.
Therefore, it's what it is.
It's the second team foul for second personal foul for Bertans, and I think that's also why you see a little bit of his reaction there. He's going to stay in the game, though. Coach Banky has confidence in him.
I'm not really sure why they had to stop the game to have that conversation with Luca Banky. We can perhaps discover that one.
I give you my answer, and you want your answer. Good shot.
Hey, I got to say, that's a great quote by the official that we picked up on there as the mic was open. Roland Smits asked the question and gave him the answer, and the referee said, well, I've given you my answer, you just want your answer. And that's literally the debate, isn't it? That is all it is. And there was no emotion in that, no histrionics. I don't think anyone in the gym would have even seen that conversation. Here's Zagaz. It's 17-16. 8 minutes to go in the half. Bertrand's feet set. Oh, that's the way he should respond.
How about that shot? That's a difficult screen. The way he squared up and knocked down that shot, there's not a lot of shooters who are capable of releasing the ball, getting their feet set before they even catch it, like Davis Bertans.
Garuba going to work inside, gets a little space, uses the angle off the glass for two. That's the first real post-up points that Spain have. Can't get over the speed of release on Bertrand's shot. Yeah. That's exceptional. Zagaz looks inside to Smits. Well, referee's a lot closer than us. Let's just put it that way.
Well, Coach Banky is going to have to be careful. He has had a technical in this tournament, I believe.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And I think the point they're really making is, well,
he just tried to go right through him instead of around him.
Yeah, that looks to me.
And it was outside the key.
Yeah, absolutely correct. They're probably making the point that, well, that's exactly what happened down the other end. Why did we get a different call down there? Because you can't argue that call.
Yeah.
Nunes attacks the space, little histrionics. Moves it on. Rudy Fernandez thinks about the long three. Now puts it on the floor, steps back for a tough one, which is way short. Zagaz just hunts the ball. Great look. Bertrands gets back in bounds just. And it's a great look. Passes overthrown. Bertrands almost saved it. Inches away from being a great play. Turns into a turnover. Abrines. Nunes has it. Wow, Bertrand's defense on Hergan Gomez out the top draw. Nunes changes it to hit the corner. Abrines attacks the closeout. finds himself in a situation where he's got nowhere to go.
And another great defensive play. This has really been a game of defense by both these teams, and you said it. So one team had a day to prepare, the other team had 2 days to prepare, but these coaches have done a great job coming out and really scouting each other, I guess you could say.
Yep. Schmitz. He's just such a solid member of this Latvian lineup. Zagars, guarded by Gruber, steps back, separation.
I'm not sure that's the best shot that Latvia could have got with the mismatch.
Hogan Gomez in traffic. Too much traffic. And Rudy Fernandez fouls mid-court. I think the referees might want to, they're not going to look at it. Clearly to stop the break.
I guess they're going to say it was a reach and a play on the ball.
Yeah, with no chance of getting the ball. And he has to take, you know, I've got no issue with it. If that's the way it's interpreted, then stop the break. Spain get back on defense. It's only going to cost Rudy Fernandez a foul. Spain have only committed 1 foul so far in this quarter. Zagars nails it. They left him alone, and he did not need a second invitation.
I mean, I know Zagars has already signed with his Lithuanian club for next year, but boy, if he was not under contract, his stock has been going up every single game here at this tournament.
You'd almost want, if you're him now, one, he may have a clause, who knows? But if he doesn't, it's almost like don't play, don't play, don't play, don't play. Because he cannot have gone further up in the estimation of bigger clubs, so we say. Not that his current club, as we see Porzingis celebrating the 3. Nunes, Spain on the wrong end of a 5-point margin. And that's because Latvia have just put a defensive clinic on the floor. Fernandez, Hogan Gomez takes the tough one at the bottom of the clock. And Latvia gets Spain deep into the possession clock again. Great recovery by Willie Hogan Gomez. 2-on-1 break. Fernandez in the corner. Nunes! They're going to call that offensive.
And maybe Nunes trying to do a little too much on the offensive end. We saw him put up a couple tough shots, including that layup, and a good job there by Zagars to just sacrifice his body and take the contact. He knew Nunes was not slowing down. That's a great call. It's an easy call for the referee to make.
Outside the charge circle. Nunes did make no effort to change his direction.
Yeah.
And it was almost like Zagars had to just like stand there and know he was going to get yeah. This is going to hurt, but I'm doing it.
I mean, this game, I told you, if they can get a win, things can become very, very interested in this group.
Spain are in a very precarious position if Latvia get the win. Zorix moves it on. Schmitz will hand it off. Drazulis with the ball screen. Korix penetrates. You're going to have to put up a tough one now. Lean in on the 3 is no good. There's a foul on the floor, and I was just about to say, it's just purple, burgundy, whatever one you call that color. Crashing the glass, absolutely going hard to it.
In France, we like to call it Bordeaux, the color, because it's the color of a red wine.
Like a good burgundy.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, great little cut. Grazulis can't finish, but Korix with the offensive rebound. That'll be a Spain basketball. And Latvia, it's just all the little blue-collar things that Spain normally dominate people on. Latvia, on the glass, on the defensive end, on the loose ball, are winning those battles. That's why they have. It's not a pretty game here. It's not an offensive festival of basketball. It's a 23-18 first half. And Latvia scrapping it out. Zuela checks in for Spain, and one of the things he can normally do is put points up and put them up quickly. Comes off the screen, gets it.
That to me, I mean, I think it was good defense, but that was just poor offense.
Yeah, but that's what pressure keeps doing here.
Yeah,
Takes you out of
exactly.
it.
You expect to catch the ball easily, especially after using a screen or setting a screen, and when, you know, your defender's there with you and you feel them.
Well, Victor Kleber and Sergi Yul in the game together. They started the game, both the Jurgen Gomez's with Brizuela. Zorix needs a pass, gets it to Smits, puts it on the floor against the closeout. Super pass, and Brazulis with his hands up finishes the play.
Super pass by the big man, though, to be able to attack the closeout. He was open at the three-point range.
And again, the pressure on the ball is forcing Spain to try to make plays happen, and that's not Spain.
Look at this. This is your big man finding the other big man.
Well, Sergio Scariolo needs to talk this over. 4:06 remains in the half. They've been stuck on 18 points for a while now. Let's take a listen to Coach Scariolo.
Tiene que hacer los relevos, tiene que cerrar el rebote, tiene que pasar la pelota cuando se cierra, ¿vale? Que cada uno haga lo suyo. Aquí somos muy capaces de decirlo a los demás, que cada uno haga lo suyo. Estamos jugando blando. Si te ponemos la pelota ahí, es para atacar. O en poste bajo, o con un mano a mano sin perder. A 2 balones perdidos te ponemos la pelota en poste bajo. Vamos chin la siguiente, uno chin. Y aquí, del pick and roll, cuando sales, estamos aquí, tenemos que ir a la X. Vuelve antes, vamos a mandarlo antes, delante, atrás, antes, delante del balón.
Well, we saw it, and I think the biggest thing for me are those points in the paint. If we get to go back and look at Spain and how they have scored throughout this tournament, they've scored a lot of points inside. Yeah, okay, you know, they're shooting 38% from three-point range, but they're shooting over 50 from 2, and a lot of those are coming from points inside the paint, as you see drives there by Juancho Hernan Gomez in this tournament so far.
Well, you know, 46 points in the paint for Spain. You just said it, like that's 11 more than Latvia. And Latvia at the moment, the team that takes a lot of threes is really being the aggressor. Schell looks at his options, needs a pass, finds one, and they're so good at making passing lanes away from the basketball. Smits off the glass for 2 is no good. That's a rebound by Willie Jurgen Gomez. Yul leads the break. Jurgen Gomez wants, doesn't get, needs a touch. Jurgen Gomez, Juancho for 3, and the lid is off the basket for Spain from the three-point line, and Coach Benke says, 1 is more than enough for me to want to talk about it. He takes the timeout, literally 2 possessions after Sergio Scariolo's timeout. That will be such a relief to Spain that they've found some sort of rhythm from the three-point line. Let's take a listen to Luca Benke, who must still be a very happy coach of where he is.
We don't dribble the ball, we enter the defense. We have to go for high-value shots. Okay, guys? Come on. Hey! Straight on Krutis Galvadivi. We need to put the movement inside and go into the counter action. Come on, Jake, I am full brother.
High-value shots is what Coach Benke asked for. Didn't think he had it in the only 2 possessions. He was only talking to them 2 possessions ago.
Yeah.
So, and that great quote is like, we don't dribble the basketball unless we're going to go somewhere with it. Here comes Zorix into the half court. Zagar's still out the game. Schell gets inside, turns it over. Brizuela looks to push. Sergio Yul goes up, protects it, and finishes the play. 5-0 run after the Scariolo timeout for Spain. Not been stopped. by Luka Banki's timeout. Brazulis inside, doesn't get it to go. And how often do you see Spain do this to people? No, they're going to wipe it off. He'd already called it. So as you'll know, he'd already called it.
Yeah, I mean, the foul was there.
Oh, the foul was a long way before he released the shot. But Spain have that, as we said before, it's in their DNA. Once they have you going down, they keep you going that way. And we have a new ball game at 25 apiece, 2:45 in the first half remaining. And Spain are being Spain right now. Zorix will come off the ball screen. Zorix going baseline, whistle on the play, it'll be called on the floor. That'll put Spain into the penalty. Latvia already there. For all the pressure and all the defense going on, both these teams so disciplined. We're not getting into penalties and bonuses that early in each quarter at all.
No, you said it. I think it's kind of been a textbook defensive game. Yeah, there's fouls happening, but they're smart fouls.
Yeah. Latvia struggling, just beat the 5 count. Koric steps back for a tough one, blocked. They've just got to get, almost got it little for the threes. Oh, but what a ball by Kleber. I'm not really sure it's showtime yet for Spain, still. Turn it over. Bertrands gets it to Zorix. Luka Banki wants a little bit more control here. Zorix with a pull-up off the screen is short. Great steal. Skell can't put the... Almost a little cheap one he gets from the steal. Can't put it and connect. Hernan Gomez catches and throws it down. Luka Banki takes the timeout. Spain on a 9-0 run, I think.
Well, I question some of the offense. Last few shot attempts by Latvia. And he talked about it in his last timeout, so let's try listening.
Pass the ball to the guards. We can continue to turn the ball over the same way. He's Hernan Gomez on you. Try and take a foul. You are under the basket. Escape. Play fucking smart basketball. That's what we need. Just playing simple, smart basketball. Okay?
Well, Spain 7 down when Sergio Scariolo took the timeout. They have gone 9-0 in the last 2 minutes or so. And their defense at the other end has really taken Latvia out of what they want to run.
Yeah, you said it. But I don't know why Latvia, stopped moving the ball. And you saw him get mad there at Rodion Kuric's 0-0, saying, get the ball to the guard. There's no need. We don't have to take one dribble shots. Pass the ball. They're more successful when everyone on their team passes, cuts, they dribble at, they hand off, then they finish with an on-ball.
Well, Zagars was out for that 9-0 run. He's now back. Oh, Schmitz attacks it. Little floater in the lane for 2.
I also have to admit, I think when Zagars is on the court, and I guess I imagine as this game goes on, we'll have a little how good the offense is when Zagars pops up, screen come up, because he just makes this team play so much better offensively.
Yule moves it on. Kleber to the corner. Aldama thinks about the 3. Now he needs a pass. That's defense. Bertrands gets it off. And they turn it. Well, they keep it, but they miss an opportunity. 2-on-1. What an effort. It was Swayler and Yule just got back and really forced Latvia to now end up on the baseline with the basketball. They're just going to go long out of bounds. Zagars has it. What a tough floater. Great work on the glass. Koric's with a putback. Just outworking Spain.
Outworking Spain, you said it, and we haven't seen that a lot this tournament. We haven't really seen that a lot ever, to be honest.
Ever, absolutely. Here's you. Inside touch, Hernan Gomez goes baseline, and one. I expected to see so much more of the strong post-up. Garuba did it. Hernan Gomez has just done it. Spain have used it sparingly. They like that lob early on. Yeah. But Willy Hernan Gomez with the two, one to come. And that's what that bench thinks of it. Doesn't compete in three-man. Aldama and Clever combined for the offensive rebound. 14-second reset. Says Yule to the hoop. Extra pass. Buzuela for three. Got it! Well, he said he would be instant offense. He didn't disappoint. Latvia will hold for the last shot. 10 seconds remain in a half. Well, Zagars went for, let's just say, a pretty quick pass to the corner. Turns it over, gives Spain 7.6 to go. Scariolo's going to bring Abrines back. He's going to replace Victor Kleber. There's a lot of offensive threat on the floor for Spain for this last 7.6 seconds. Who loves last seconds, should we say. Buzuela turns the corner, gets it off. Abrines is fouled, throws it up. And they want to know why there was no call on the contact. And the answer is there was no call on the contact.
I think it was a good defensive play.
I agree with you entirely. 32-29. We've had a tough, intense half. Defense has been exceptional. Spain lead it 32-29.
Well, there you see the shooting percentages. Spain, 50%. Both teams, 25 and 17% from three-point range, well below their average. Spain, good job rebounding. A lot of that has to do with Willy Hernan Gomez. As you see, both the brothers leading Spain in scoring, and then Schmitz and Zagars for Latvia. But it's been all defense. I mean, here we see statistical offense stats. And, you know, we need to see more defensive stats because it just has been an absolutely defensive battle and good defense. I mean, you know, they're moving their feet, they're aggressive, they're anticipating, they're following the scout, obviously, from the coaching staff, and you can see that. It's not, I wouldn't call it a scrappy game, I would call it a very technical defensive game. Absolutely.
We said before the game we expected it to be very European, and you know, it's the defense has been the winner. Davis Bertrand only has the 3 points, then we can remember the three he made. Now, again, I would say that's because Spain have chased him everywhere and taken it away. Again, Gomez, 10 points, 4 from 5 from the floor. Exactly what you'd expect from him. Gonna get a look at the best plays of that second quarter. And a little bit like you, we're gonna see people scoring, and while that's going on, it's just a phenomenal defense that people have played here. They've taken, both teams are forcing people so far outside the three-point line, and that's just one of the things they're doing.
I do think late in that second quarter, we saw some unusual or, you know, offense that we haven't seen a lot from Latvia, and that's why Coach Banke went to 2 timeouts late in that second quarter. He had to use both of them. A lot of it was he was upset with the way that his team was playing offense. It was, you know, one pass, one-on-one. Latvia is not a one-on-one creating your own shot kind of a team. That is not the way that they play. That is not the way that they have been successful in the qualifications and in this tournament. And all of a sudden it became a little bit, you know, one pass and shot. And honestly, their offensive production just goes down when Zagars isn't on the court.
Well, I was just about to say to you and ask you that question. You know, there was a lot of discussion. We've heard about some of the discussions going on about how much little perhaps Coach Banky thought that Zagars would be able to lead this team, but without him at the moment, they can't win, right?
No, they can't win, and I don't think they would be only trailing by 3 at half. And you have to be comfortable if you're Coach Banky trailing the #1 team in the world, Spain, at halftime. I think they need to have the same intensity and effort on the defensive end, and they need to have the hustle plays offensively to give themselves a chance.
Well, that's a great half of basketball. This is going to go all the way. We're going to take a break, and we will see you shortly for the second half.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Turns it over now. Samsonite come up with it. Wani big threat. Another block. That's the 3rd block of the game by Renzabando. Now, Georgievich liking what he gets from Joe, and again, he goes up, and now he is the top scorer in this game with 18 points.
And what a pass there from Jia Wei between the legs, finding Zheng Zhao on the nice roll.
And they get it in. Spellman bringing it over. He's staying aggressive. Saud is open. His shot at the buzzer is good. Not sure if that's what Coach drew up, but it doesn't matter because it works anyway.
Trying to make a bit of contact, goes up, and Wenya Gabriel just says, not at my house.
Francisco tries to turn the corner, drops it to Yabusele, and one. It's just too strong, too big. Powers his way, bullies his way to the hoop.
Sammy, bullseye's out. Oh, look at that. Ahab Amin takes it away. You cannot be serious. That is not gonna be, he just snuck up there, took the ball away, went in for a layup. And you gotta do better than this. Look at this. And they get it to Cruz, he kind of fumbles it, gets it back, puts up a 3, good! Well, there you have it. The icing on the cake of Mexico's best first half. Here they go, Sammy with the bounce pass, and what hustle from Omar Hushain. Slapping it out of bounds.
Gabriel getting rejected. Soto with the denial. Lamont kicks out. Kwani looking to go in again. Still can't get it. Another block shot. Back-to-back blocks by Kai Soto.
Soho driving, he coughs it up. Baba with the ball. He's looking for help. He finishes it to Hiyajima. And one, Hiyajima.
What a play!
Japan has the lead.
Baba saw the defense coming, he's holding his shoulder, but look at the heads-up play.
Way in the flush. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
gaya hidup Anda. My Pertamina, semua jadi istimewa.
Well, welcome back to Jakarta. Latvia coming back out onto the floor. They're trailing 32-29. They led for large parts of that first half. There's the game leaders for Latvia. Smits, with his 8 points, has been exceptional again. Zagars, they just didn't look the same team without him on the floor. And Coach Banshee talks about Kuric in just exalted terms, and he has really done a great job for the Latvian lineup in that first half. That second timeout shown of Sergio Scariolo, it was almost as though something, they just turned it up a level. The great thing though, Latvia did come back and respond.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is, good teams know how to respond, especially out of timeouts. And Scariolo had to use one timeout. It didn't happen. He used his second timeout. Every time Spain takes a little bit of patience and they get the ball inside, they've been successful. They just, earlier on in the game, they weren't really going inside. Well, they started the first 2 possessions, but then we saw Hernan Gomez, Willie, I think, find his rhythm, find his place down low. Latvia, yeah, they have bigs, but they're not the same as Willie Hernan Gomez or Garuba. They're not as physical, they're not as inside players. I think Latvia trailing by 3, how many offensive rebounds or touches? They're just aggressive. They're diving on it. They forced Spain into 9 turnovers. You know how coaches say, like, those 50-50 plays? Latvia are winning that game, and that's why they're only trailing by 3. I know they're trailing, but it's been a really, really close game. It's been a very, very defensive game. It's been a very defensive game technically and tactically, which has been enjoyable to watch, even if there hasn't been, top plays offensively. It's still been a great game to watch.
And we talked a lot about the fact that Latvia really normally take 35, 36 by the 29th ranked team in the world, and expect that ranking to drop. They've had an amazing qualification campaign, and now they're in the last 16 of the World Cup, Latvia. They are challenging the world champions, and this game is too close to call. Well, there's the World Cup app, there's the QR code for that. If you want to get all the stats, stories, everything, download that app from your normal source. And there is so many stories going on around this World Cup. There's so much action. We're only into the first day of the second round, and the action is stepping up a level.
We do know that no one in all of the games will be able to qualify directly for the Olympics today, so everything's still up in the air. If Latvia can win a game,
that means that
technical.
I assume that's the technical on Sergio Scariolo.
Right at half.
Yeah. So Sergio Scariolo, just to confirm, with his disappointment at the lack of a call towards the end of the half, picked up the technical foul. Zagars will come off the ball screen. Lane opens up in the lane, off the glass, doesn't get it. Great follow. And that's why Coach Benke loves Korix. Just doesn't stop. Super work on the glass. Yule drops it into Kleber. 10 on the possession. Diaz started, didn't play again in the first half. Stops and pops the mid-range too. Doesn't get it to go. Smits clears up on the glass.
Well, Diaz came up with those 2 fouls early. He played well. He was having to guard Zareks.
Zareks in the post. Excuse me. Off the glass for 2. And you could almost say bullied Abrines in the block. And Spain go a little small. Only one Hergan Gomez on the floor. It went much bigger than that at the start of the game. So Yule turns the corner, gets inside, off the glass, blows the layup. And Latvia, on the back of the technical foul, have come out strong. Bertrand for 3. Timeout Spain, what a start.
And that's what you were mentioning right before this quarter started, right? That they can get out and run and they can find Bertans more in that kind of transition, semi-transition. And a great example, you get a defensive rebound, push the tempo, he's spotting up.
Well, Spain want to stop that as soon as possible. Let's listen to Sergio Scariolo.
Contraataque. Tiro contestado, pull-up. Tenemos que atacar, sacarla, buscar tiros abiertos, buscar doblaje dentro. Bajar fuerte, corriendo, llegando a las esquinas. Si hay Bertas aquí, correr y saltar al rojo. ¿Vale? Si jugamos los cuernos, triangular primero, buscar dentro. Luego si eso jugamos. ¿Vale?
Well, this is that 8-0 run. Great work on the offensive glass. Zorix was just great on that. Then he just took Abrines to the ring, and then with only his second three-point attempt, he's 2 from 2 from the three-point line, I think. That's Davis Bertrand's basketball. And out of the timeout, Latvia show a little extended pressure. Diaz into the half court. Abrines. Oh, had the chance then. Kleber for 3 is good. So many weapons. Where do you start? Who do you want to shoot it against you with Spain? Zorix, super curl. Korix blows a little 2-footer. Bertrand's chases it down. A new full team. Zorix tries to turn the corner. Smith's on the pick and pop. Lines up the 3 and drains it.
I said it, I think. Latvia needs to play more their style offensively, and they need to start looking and knocking down some threes, and it's just great movement, and also it's the hustle plays. They came up with that offensive rebound.
Yeah, they show hard on you. Gives it up to Diaz, who won't, but he does take the 3, and he knocks it down. Completely different ball game at the start of the third. Guys making open looks. Zagars steps back, he thinks about it, turns it down. Bertrand from the halfway line is no good. Smits doesn't get it. Hergan Gomez just owns that rebound. Yule in transition. Abrines, he thinks about the 3, puts it on the floor. He's fouled by Smits. Well, when you are a champion team, you get champion responses. 8-0 start. Spain came out after the timeout. And we're now back where we were in terms of a bucket-for-bucket game, 2-point margin. The defending World Cup champions being stretched. Yule comes off the screen, gives it up. Clever, having made the last one, puts up another one. It's short, a little bit further out. That's going to be a rebound foul against Hernan Gomez. Love the effort.
And I think, you know, the way that we've seen a 0-0 Currix come out and play this half just shows you why Banky loves him so much. Just does a little bit of everything that the team needs. He's not flashy.
No.
Rarely makes a bad play.
Well, they're going to see a lot of him in the ACB. Another great player. Zagars down the lane, tripped himself almost. Diaz in transition. Ablines puts it on the floor against the closeout, stops on the pull-up for 2. And you can't do any more than that. Chase him off the line, make him take a tough one off the dribble. And we have a new ball game. Tied at 40, 6:43 to go in 3. Zorix, big step, gets the 2.
Yeah, nice body control, little European step there on the finish.
Diaz. Again, Gomez, mid-post, puts it on the floor, is fouled by Smits, and before we see the rebound, just left his hands in there.
Yeah, right there. I mean, the thing is, Willie Hernan Gomez, you let him catch the ball there, he is kind of just going to try and attack you right away. And unless you stand your ground or force him to change a direction, he typically, and we've seen it, he's got to the free throw line a lot in this tournament. He typically knows, he's smart and he knows how to draw the foul against the defenders.
So, Willie Hernan Gomez on the free throw line. Well, was shooting 80% before the game. Chance to tie this at 42 for yet another tie in this game, which he does. Well, you talked about the intensity level. You can feel it. Both teams, wow.
And now they're starting to see shots go in as well, so we see a little bit more fluidity on the offensive end, a little bit more confidence and aggressivity.
Krista Zorix goes upstairs to Grazoulis. He's going to travel. And even though he could catch the pass, he just had no space to play as Spain collapsed on it as the ball was in the air.
Yeah.
And again, the smart thing was to not reach. Diaz would advance the basketball. Clever with the action. Hernan Gomez is deep, catches it deep. Lean away for 2. Great work on the glass by Bertrands to protect it. Zagars will come off the ball screen in transition. Gets to the foul line. They're going to call that offensive. If that's offensive, that's a great defensive play. If it is, well, it is because the referees have called it that way. Let's take a look. What do you think?
I think that's a great call.
Yeah.
The offensive player clearly searched the contact. And you know, he has to go to the bench now. We know how well Latvia play offensively. Even if he's not the one scoring, their offense is just different. So that, to me, is a big loss, seeing Zagars go to the bench with still 5 minutes and 40 seconds in the third quarter.
This Latvian team have made a habit of people stepping up. Well, they need others to step up right now. Here's Ablines. Diaz looking inside. Bertrands trying to look after, but Hernan Gomez, they're going to call that offensive.
Well, he tried to clear out the lane line for Victor Claver there to just flush it home. And Bertans, he wanted to go and try and help.
He hooked him, right?
I thought he hooked him.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I think if you're going to call offensive fouls on the other end, you got to do it on this end as well.
Zoric's little floater in the lane, doesn't get it to go. Kleber with a rebound. Abrines at pace. Spain in transition. Kleber will get it to Yule. Kleber goes, great defense by Grazulis, gets a piece. And Willy Hergan Gomez does. When you're young, you're big, you say, keep it up and go up. Yeah. And that's, again, another example of how well. No. Any ideas why Juancho Hernan Gomez still sits? Is it?
I saw him sitting beside Coach for a lot of that last second quarter. He does have 3 fouls.
Yeah, that's, well, there's the answer to that question. Garuba's going to check in. Sergio Yule sits. Willy Hernan Gomez is going to come out if he makes the second free throw. Will come out as soon as possible after that. Rudy Fernandez in the game. Bertrand's so smart at making sure the officials saw the hook.
Yeah, it's another way of putting it. But I also think veteran players, they know how to play, and you can't tell me that the veterans on Spain don't do the same thing. Those kind of veteran plays, they equal out.
Again, Gomez misses the second. Spain by 1. Zorix. And Kurks, the combination in the backcourt. Davis Bertrand puts it inside. Grazulis. Korix, Grazulis inside out. Great rotation by Kleber. The ball will go to Spain.
Yeah, great rotation defensively. You saw the help side come quickly. Grazulis had nowhere to go. And then the other help defender, Victor Claver, just reading the pass. It's not the first time we've seen a great defensive scramble, I guess you could say, by Spain.
No, absolutely. And this is where the depth that we keep talking about in Spain comes to play, because Korix has been phenomenal. Now he's got a completely different inside combination to have to deal with. Garuba off the bench. Rudy Fernandez into the game at the small forward. Extra pass, doesn't take it though. Rudy Fernandez with a sky hook, doesn't get it to go, gets his own rebound. Brusuela wants to score, is a scorer. Long three is good. You can't gap him. He's going to put it up. Four-point Spain lead. Korix will look to go and get it back. Zorix. Kleber's defense is just exceptional. Garuba and Kleber out the top, and Garuba recovers. Well, if you want to know, just buy into the defensive rules. Brusuela gets it off. Fernandez thinks about it, gets it back. Brusuela, he's made the last one. Kicks it to Diaz. 8 on the shot clock. Spain don't panic, they go inside to Garuba. Got to go up. Fernandez with a prayer at the end of the clock. Knocks it down. Timeout, Latvia. And Rudy Fernandez does what Rudy Fernandez does.
I mean, how many times in your lifetime have you seen Rudy Fernandez hit a shot like that at the end of the shot clock? He's been playing since 2006 at a World Cup.
And he just looks like that's what I do. Just jogs back to the timeout, sits down, ready to go again.
No smile.
Let's take a listen to Banky.
Who enters the defense? They quick decision. They attack, and we stack every time they play aggressive. We stack, and we keep out. Go, slip the trap, pass the ball inside with the pocket. Enter the defense with a different energy and different aggressiveness. Hey, pay attention. Hey, first offense. Ragisano. We go.
Well, we said about Brusuela, he can't leave him alone. He makes the first three. Bertrand's worried about being beaten for pace, gaps him. But with no time on the clock, Rudy just, as you say, how many times in how many big games?
Yeah. That's what it is. How many big games he has also done that in. And you know, I would say the last few years is definitely more of a role player, but he still comes up with big shots.
Well, that's the role, right?
That's the role, yeah, I guess so.
Zorix. Banking one. Well, called the play, drops it inside, whistle on the play. It's going to be offensive. And I don't have to tell you who took the charge. And while we get a replay of that, again, super defensive effort. Let's just take a moment. Victor Claver's defense in this third quarter, absolutely different level. The play where him and Garuba ended up both trapping the basketball and then recovering out of it. It's, you know, it's not one of those things that's going to be in the highlight. I think Rudy's got this. He's got some blood. Is he going to have to sit?
Yeah.
Well, Sergio Scariolo rolls the dice with Juancho Hernan-Gomez. You know how that conversation went. You got 3 fouls. Coach, I'm fine. Yeah, but don't get, no, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. So Hernan-Gomez checks into the game. Ian Garuba and Claver at the front line for Spain. Bertrand's guarding Claver outside. Bushuela, who's been exceptional, came in late as one of the last rotations. Oh, what a pass! And Garuba down the lane. And Bushuela goes over to celebrate with the assistant coach, Luis Gul, and the rest of the bench.
Yeah, and just a great read. And you saw he goes over and celebrates with the coaches because I think they clearly said, hey, you know what? They're going to do this and you're going to have this look.
Garuba for the three-point play for a 10-point lead. And it's a little bit deja vu for everyone watching Spain because when they start to turn the screw, they turn the screw. And don't forget, this was after a 9-0 start to this third quarter for Latvia. Little baseline jump hook is no good. And it's one and done for Latvia in the last few minutes of this third quarter. That's going to be an offensive foul as Bertrand hits the floor. Rudy Fernandez will check back in. Claver will sit down. That is a serious shift by Victor Claver.
And you know what? Statistically, not a lot will come up. He knocked down that big three-pointer for them that kind of started the run, but he does a lot of little things, and it was more on the defensive end, and he was always in the right spot making the right read.
Well, Diaz just picks the pocket. Bushuela just knows how to score. Tough little finish. And Spain continue to turn that screw. Zagars, but Latvia have been faced with this multiple times already in this World Cup. If there's a team who can find a way to get back, it's them. Scout puts it on the floor, drops it inside. Grazulis fills the double team. Bertlands from the logo. Can't get it to go. Great work on the glass. But Bushuela comes down with a defensive rebound. And turns it over. Korok stops the drought for Latvia. And why would it be anybody else? It's always Zorix making things happen for Latvia. So important that they broke that drought. Rudy Fernandez drops it inside the Garuba. He's one-on-one if he wants to go. Oh, super pass.
And just a breakdown defensively for Latvia. And I think this is where we're seeing Spain can wear teams out because defensively, since about the 8-minute mark, They have just picked up their intensity, and it has been turnover, bad shot, tough shot for Latvia.
To the corner, Buswaiter for three is short, but Hergan Gomez is on the glass. They get a route 14, they'll recycle. Ariel Buswaiter puts it on the floor, needs the pass, but stops and pops, and they're gonna call it offensive. I gotta say, I think the referees have been right on this game.
Yeah.
I think they've read the play, called the play when they've needed to. They've had to call the technical. So Latvia, with 35 seconds of a quarter that they started so well, on the wrong end of a 56-44 scoreline. Would love to get 2 shots here at the end of the quarter. Would love to get a score and a stop. Bertrand's in the corner, is fouled from the 3-point line.
We've seen a lot of fouls on shooters at the 3, as you see Rudy Fernandez trying to explain his case. They have to let, the defensive player has to let the offensive player come down and land safely.
Bertrand's on the free throw line. Rudy's still talking to the official, but it's talking, it's not. Would have been good to see a replay of it, because it looked to me as though he kept coming forward.
And again, I mean, even in just this tournament here in Jakarta for us, we've saw when players close out and they get underneath the shooter some terrible, terrible ankle injuries, and that's the reason why referees are very conscious about this.
Bertrand goes 3 for 3, and he'll get the last 21 seconds and the quarter break, and expect him to be back early in the...
I mean, he did stop, but he kind of stopped underneath him.
Yeah. Spain will hold for the last shot of the quarter. They're playing 5 on 2,500 at the moment. Latvian fans trying to help this defensive effort. Garuba with a lob is held and will go to the free throw line. And once he had position, Sergi Yule was always going to just get it in there. It's more the help. Well, the ball's in the air so long, surely the help is the place to steal it from.
Or at least tip it if you can't come up with the ball.
Usman Garuba on the free throw line. Drops the first. Victor Kleber is going to come in for the last 3 seconds. I assume they'll sit Hergan Gomez down. They wouldn't want him to get a crazy foul in the 3 seconds. Kleber checks back in. Multiple substitutions. Bertrand comes back. 3.7 is long enough if they get it in going forwards. Bertrand gets ready, puts it up, almost gets it to go. And we've reached the end of 3. And Latvia trail the defending champions 58-47. Spain have it after 3.
Well, it was much better offensive output by both teams in that quarter as we see the shooting percentages go up, especially from 3-point range. Spain now 40%. Latvia, they started well, like you mentioned, but look at that, 24 free throw attempts compared to just 8 for Latvia. And I think it shows you how aggressive Spain have been, and they've come out and they've tried to attack right off the bat. But, you know, yeah, offensively has looked better. Boy, Spain played some very, very tough defense. At least the last 8 minutes of that quarter, there was not an easy look for Latvia at all.
Well, it was a 7-0 start, wasn't it? And we were thinking Latvia came out early in that third quarter, and Koriks in particular was so effective. But then Victor Clever, who made that three you just saw. And then all of a sudden, it became Spain doing what they've done in every game in this World Cup so far, wearing people down with their rotations and their defense. And then Brizuela, who we said is a scorer, he's on that roster to score in given moments and given situations, and he really responded to the opportunity. But if there was a play, this is the great pass to Garuba. But the Rudy Fernandez three almost just capped that run, and just a tremendous look by him. Well, there's the courtside 1891 QR code. Download it, it's all there for you to see. Spain will have possession of the basketball at the start of 4. And Latvia have to find a way in these 10 minutes to firstly get back in this, then outscore the defending World Cup champions by 12 to win it in regulation. Yul has it, gets it to Rudy Fernandez. Needs a pass, finds one. Yul turns the corner, stops, pops, doesn't get it to go. And Korix is fouled mid-court. Korix Stratton's Grazulis on the floor with the other Zorix. And Zlatan will inbound the basketball. Krista Zorix. Again, the on-ball defense, exceptional.
They can't even turn the corner after using a screen.
Grazulis open for three, drains it. And they are going to have to back themselves on what they do to get back in this, and that's the three-point line.
I was just about to say, you know, if there's any team that can come back, it's a good three-point shooting team, and Latvia haven't shot the three exceptionally well today, but hey, they've proven that they can, and a couple threes, and they're right back in this game, and it's a one-possession game.
Yul has it. A little static, and you never really say that about Spain. Takes the ball screen, gets the switch. Little push from the foul line is no good. And that ball will go back to Latvia. I don't think in 4 games I've actually said Spain are static. And
especially not offensively.
No.
Continuously moving, and I agree with you, and I think Sergio Yul was upset with his teammates too, because they were the ones standing around watching him.
Yep.
Last 2 possessions.
Zorix is fouled on the penetration by Brizuela. End line ball with a 14-second, or sideline ball with a 14-second reset. Faltons. Grazulis wants. Grazulis should have got as well.
Yeah.
Stratton steps back for 3. That's off.
And I think you needed to go inside. I know Rudy Fernandez, he's crafty there when he is trying to defend a mismatch, but you got to get the ball inside.
Give it inside and trust the guy. Grazulis really did a good job getting free. Well, we talked about the way that who initiates the contacts, and Zorix then really did just hit Sergi Yul, and he will inbound it on the sideline. Again, Gomez is the open release. Ball's knocked away, will go out of bounds. Spain still control the ball on the sideline. Love the way that Spain are running with Brizuela here. He's earned the fact they're just going to let him go.
Yep.
Been a major difference maker. Steps back, long 2, short. Great effort.
He's a little bit more offensive-minded than Diaz. Nunez, obviously not having a great game for Spain. Hasn't been given a lot of opportunities. I thought he was a little bit too I don't want to call him selfish because I don't think it was selfish, but offensively he was trying to do too much when he was in the game.
Davis Bertrands checks back in on what the 2,000 or so Latvian fans wouldn't give for a classic Davis Bertrands quarter. There are times when he gets going from the perimeter, you can't guard him. Goes inside, little push for Grazoulis for 2. And they close it to 6. 10 points personal for Grazoulis.
Well, Spain led by 12.
Again, Gomez and Garuba combined to turn it over. Zorix gives it up. Zorix gets it off to Bertrands, down the lane. Ball is knocked away. Bertrands goes down dramatically. Here's the,
I think he wanted the foul.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a lot of ball. He definitely got hit hard after by Garuba.
Bertrands limps himself back onto the floor, which you wouldn't be surprised to see him just nail the next 3. He's just a vet. Bertrands long, lines it up. Almost drops it.
You almost called it.
Almost called it. Says you're in the half court. Spain almost look a little bit, we're just controlling the game at the moment. They've lost that almost urgency they had in the 3rd quarter. Yule puts it on the floor, backs out, gets it to Clever, attacks the closeout in the lane with a tough one, is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. And Luka Banki, I think, has got the technical. Or I think he's been warned. And Sergio Scariolo says, well, he gave me one. And I have a lot of sympathy for that because I think they've done a pretty decent job, the officials. But they've given Banki the technical.
I think he's trying to say you got to call it the same the other way, and I think that was more in reference to Bertrands' attack on the basket where, yeah, he was stripped, but then he did kind of get hit hard by Garuba from Spain. Garuba, excuse me, mixing up my letters.
It's a foul. I mean, it's... Korix wasn't straight up. There was some contact, therefore. Victor Clever and Sergi. Isn't that between the technical foul and the shooting foul? Can they not sub then? It's not like the same face. Obviously not, because the referees have said no.
Obviously not, because they didn't, yeah.
Clever makes the first. It's a little similar, and we talked about it a lot in that France game. They just need to get over the hump, Latvia, don't they? It's like, it's going to be an 8-point game. They need to get over that 6-point hump, get it over the 4-point hump.
It took them over 39 minutes to finally take the lead against France. Maybe it could be something like that here today.
Wow, what will that be like? Here's Krista Zorix, moves it on. Grazoulis gets it over. Bertrands, they can't help off Bertrands. Clever's in to guard him. Grazoulis, long with a 3. What a rebound by Zorix. Bertrands spins in the lane, gets it off. Just about holds on, and one. You know, they believe. This Latvian crowd and this Latvian team really believe that they can get back in this. Davis Bertrands will go to the free throw line for the 3-point play.
Well, you know, we've talked about it all tournament long. They are the Cinderella team for me. They're making their first appearance here at the Basketball World Cup. And they have believed, and they have absolutely nothing to lose. They're going up against the #1 team in the world. Their fans are going to love them. Their people are going to be cheering for them. There's probably going to be celebrations when they get home from this tournament, even if they don't move on out of this group phase. So why not? Go ahead. Play like you want to play. Play with no fear. That's when you play your best.
They go back to that lob, and there's the foul on it. They're going to call it while it was on the floor. And Spain, if it works, don't try and fix something that's not broken. Spain back with the starting lineup, except Venezuela stays in the game.
Well, Willie Hernan Gomez has 4 fouls. So does Schmitz for Latvia, but he is on the bench, as well as Kurix now.
Clever gets it off to Venezuela. Dario's Venezuela looks at his options. Willie Hernan Gomez in the block. Great pass, great pass. Super cut, but what a pass. That's when those family moments
Brotherly connection.
Oh, yeah, it means so much. 61-55. Latvia are knocking at the door. Zorix gets his feet set for the 3, fills it up.
I wonder what they talk about at family dinners.
Willie in the block again. Squares up, goes baseline to the corner. Clever kicks. Hernan Gomez for 3 is no good. And Latvia can tie it on this possession. Zorix having made the last one. Back-to-back threes. Latvia tied up. Spain take the timeout. All the momentum with the Latvian.
I mean, I really want to listen into this timeout, but the last possession there, I think it was Grazoulis on Hernan Gomez, Willie, and he did a great job cutting off that drive that he's drawn so many fouls in this tournament. And you know what? Closing out on the other Hernan Gomez brother, that's not a bad defensive set.
Yeah, if you want to pick an option, let's talk about that after Sergio Scariola.
Usman, poco de ayuda por arriba, como tipo short, y luego cambiamos y vamos a puño fin, ¿ok? ¿Vale? No podemos dejar triples. Jugamos.
Shana, we said, whenever they've been faced with adversity in this competition so far, someone has stepped up. It's like ours did against France, because that was the first game that Bertrand was unable to play, and because he only played 6 minutes. And now it's Zoric's turn. And they're never out of any game. Their belief is unbelievable, and it's obviously fueled by 2,500 traveling fans.
Yeah, this really does feel like a home game here in Jakarta for this Latvian team, and they are loving what they see right now. There's still a lot of time left. We know that the basketball is a game of runs, and we've seen a lot of runs by both teams already.
Well, Rudy Fernandez checks in for Spain. Diaz lines up the 3, and oh, what a rebound. Clever with a rebound. Garuba goes up for 2. Huge rebound.
Yeah, what a solid game Victor Clever has had for Spain.
Zorix with great physicality. Zorix, a lot of dribble, now he's run out of some options. Grazoulis looks inside, foul on the play, it's going to be called on the floor.
Well, it doesn't matter because he's going to go to the free throw line. And you heard in that last timeout, Scariolo said, no more threes, no matter what, no more threes. And that's where you see a switch. They prevented the three-point option, but a good job there by Kurix getting Diaz on his back. And it was a foul before the shot, but bonus. Latvia still have 1 foul to give.
Rodion Zorix on the free throw line. Solid on the first. One for 2. I think he came over the free throw line before it hit the ring. He can't do that. Everyone else can.
He knew he missed as soon as that ball was released.
I mean, he's had a nightmare from the free throw line in this tournament, but he's normally a 66% free throw shooter.
It's not great either.
Not great either, I know. It's not nightmare numbers.
It's not a nightmare, but...
So I think he's at 25% coming into the game. Diaz will advance the basketball. Spain have been here before, but don't forget, so have Latvia. The win over France, this is almost a deja vu type game. Rudy Fernandez gets to the corner, Garuba releases, puts it on the deck. Again, Gomez attacks the closeouts, turns it over. Korix comes up with another play. Korix to the crease, blocks, and will go to the free throw line. Foul called. Rodions Korix with the defensive play, and then his brother takes it to the ring strong and will go to the free throw line.
I thought that was a foul. I mean, he hit him in the head.
There wasn't the histrionics from the Spanish bench. I think they saw it. A chance for Latvia to lead on these free throws. One for two again, and we're locked at 63 with 4 minutes remaining. Diaz. Abrines checks in. Minimal minutes so far this evening. Rudy Fernandez breaks it out. Garuba inside, second step, is blocked. Oh, what a block. Huge block.
Oh, huge block.
Brazulis just stayed in the play. 3.8, probably some of the biggest 3.8 seconds in the game so far. And it's turned it over. Korix comes up with another steal. Loses control. And Bertans saves it. Latvia get back control. Zorix has it. Zorix in the lane, puts the floater up for two. Well, there's 2,500 Latvians in the gym, but those two that you just saw, two of their biggest fans, Astrelniks and Porzingis, start to genuinely think this could be their game.
And those two guys not able to participate with their team, but they have been here the entire tournament since Latvia arrived, supporting them, a part of the team, because they know how historic this opportunity is for Latvia just being at this World Cup. And it's unfortunate that they can't be here, but I think it's such a great example of how much of a team this Latvian group is.
Garuba reverses the basketball. Clever gets it back to Diaz. Rudy Fernandez thinks about the three, doesn't take it. 10 on the possession. Diaz. Abrines attacks the closeout into the lane, is fouled, and will go to the free throw line. Solid and brave, I think, is two words you can use as Abrines took it to the ring. And they're challenging Alberto Diaz to shoot the ball. And because he hasn't, there's not a lot of space to play.
No, and he's not, you know, Diaz, I mean, he's a defensive stopper. He's a defensive player. Even with Unicaja last year, he was a role player. He was, you know, he was that gritty guy who, yeah, got his players going on offense, but not necessarily for him. He has knocked down a three in this game, in this half, actually.
Yeah. Abrines makes both and ties at 65.
That's the 14th time this game has been tied. It has been a good game. You and I asked at halftime, will Latvia have enough, or will Spain just wear them out like they've wear down every other team in this tournament so far?
Zorix will take the ball screen. Zagars has checked back in, turns the corner, kicks to the wing, Bertans for three. Great find. He had a layup. It would have been challenged, but great find. And Bertans just licked his lips and knocked it down. Spain, the challenge is there. Abrines can't get free coming off the screen. Garuba's going to have the ball screen. Abrines always looking to click. Clever puts it on the floor. Abrines from the corner is no good. Zorix with a defensive rebound.
Well, Spain, they have no fouls to give. They're going to have to just get a good defensive possession.
Brazulis is off with a three. Great rebound by Diaz. He leads the break, but he has no options down the floor. Abrines. Diaz lifts. Garuba wants and gets. Inside, outside. Rudy Fernandez puts it on the floor. Defense unbelievable by Latvia. Fernandez for the three is long. And Zagars will come down with a basketball. 1:30 to go. Korix in the block. Goes to the middle with the sky hook for two. Timeout, Spain. Latvia have the lead by 5 with 1:28 remaining in the fourth.
Well, Scariolo, that's going to be his last timeout with 1:28. He clearly wants to give them some instructions offensively because Latvia right now, they have tightened up and not given any easy looks. Let's try and listen in.
Darío, Rodi, Tash, Juancho y Billy esta. Jugamos. Move, guard pop, guard play, okay? Cuidado, si cambian, continúa. Sí, ¿ok? Si no venimos, bloquea para Darío, vamos a la mano, continúa. Te quedas abierto. ¿Vale?
Wow. Replay of the Zorix. It's like roll back the years on a skyhook. But like, what else hasn't Zorix done? He's done absolutely everything. And get a replay of the Bertland's three. This is a great decision. Look at how many defenders he drew with the penetration. Bertrand's, as I said at the time, licking his lips there, I'm gonna knock this down. Bob, both the Hergen Gomez's are back. Sergio Yule's in the game. Suela's in the game. That's a foul. And not a lot of time came off the clock. Willie Hergen Gomez will go to the free throw line. And at this stage, has to make both. And it looks like Spain are going to go offense and defense here in terms of subs and rotations. Diaz and Claver come back. They leave Rudy Fernandez. Willie Hergen Gomez has shot 80% from the free throw line in this tournament. Gets a friendly roll.
Yeah, you said at 80% from this tournament. He is only 6 of 10 from the free throw line tonight, though.
1:19 to go. You can almost forget those stats.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The pressure now, intense. He comes up short. Ball goes out of bounds. And I think they're going to have to check that. So the officials are going to review it. No coach has to waste a challenge. And quite rightly, that's great officiating. Got to say, he wasn't sure. First thing he said, he's going to review it. Let's take a listen to the officials.
Review.
Oh.
Let's
go back a little bit. Okay, then I have this one. Okay, frame by frame. Red, red. Now. Okay,
Go back. Give me this. Red.
Red. Two. Now. One more. Like this. Maybe the camera,
You have the crane?
Spider cam. Yeah.
You said that's the last one. The last one is white, right?
Red ball, right?
Yeah.
Confirm.
Confirm. White was the last one to touch the ball. Red ball.
The fingertips of...
because it kind of changed direction, and yeah.
The fingertips of Lancho and Gomez. Great job by the officials. Abrines checks in. Spain are literally rotating offense and defensive lineups here. 1:18 to go. 4-point game. Spain, no foul to give. Zorix would advance the basketball. Can't take the ball screen, it's taken away, they switch it. Zorix, he's gonna put it up, goes on the floater, goes inside, turns it over. Spain with an opportunity. Diaz, Garuba's down the floor, they miss him. Garuba will ball screen, they can't spend too long with it. Garuba on the inside, going baseline, gets an angle, goes up for two and blows it. Foul on the play. Latvia will walk the floor for throws. He has more tension in that face, Porzingis, than anyone in the gym, I think. Just living every moment.
I mean, he obviously is happy and excited for these men, but I'm sure his teammates, I'm sure there's a part of him too that says, man, I wish I was out there participating in this with them.
Brazulis misses the first. They've gone 1 for 2. 3 of the last 4 times have been at the line. It's a 2-possession game right now. If he makes or misses this, it'll still be a 2-possession game. Spain have to go and get it good, but have to go early. Yule, who's been here before, hands it off. Rudy Fernandez, Brusuela, stops, pops, knocks the 3 down, oh my word! Latvia have to shoot it. Foul by Rudy Fernandez. A 2-point game. And Krista Zorix on the free throw line.
He's had a big fourth quarter for them, to say the least.
If he makes both, it becomes a 2-possession game. Wow, you can see the tension in Zorix. That one just didn't quite get out of his hand. Zorix makes it a 3-point game, a single possession game. Spain with potentially the last shot of regulation. Does Latvia foul or does Latvia play their defense? Venezuela penetrates with a floater. There's a whistle on the play. Foul is charged against Spain, and they're going to walk the floor. Only 9-10 seconds left on the clock when he took the 2. If they were going to try and go 4-2, perhaps you'd have thought they'd have gone earlier. 72-69. rolled in Zurichs. Zurichs on the free throw line. An opportunity to ice this game for Latvia.
Well, he hasn't been there a lot in this tournament. You mentioned it, he was 25% heading into this game. 1 of 2 here today.
One may well be enough.
Well, it makes it a 2-possession game, 8.6 seconds. Spain have no timeouts, so they can't advance the ball. Coach Benke does have a couple timeouts if they have trouble getting the ball in on the other end, if there is a quick basket made by Spain.
Well, he goes 2 for 2. Unbelievable performance by Zurichs. Rasuela, important the Spain score here. Yule puts it up, doesn't get it to go, and Latvia have the win over the defending world champions. They've beaten the silver medalists of Eurobasket, they've now beaten the defending World Cup holders. And they're taking a huge step towards the quarterfinals. They win this 74-69. Huge win for Latvia.
I mean, every win that this team gets becomes historical, and we thought that France game was the biggest win in program history. Now this win is going to be the biggest win in program history, as they have made this group very, very interesting moving forward. But let's not forget, it's not over for Spain. They got to regroup. Both these teams will have a day off, and then they have to play again. Could come down to numbers and calculations, though. And you gotta love it, because they get to experience this with their fans as well.
Oh, and there you can hear it. 2,500 Latvians here. Most of the neutrals have just adopted them as well. And they have just come up with a huge win that we'll talk about it a little bit more in terms of what it might mean in terms of the group. But Latvia have just taken a huge step that might be a step towards the quarterfinal. And where does the journey end then?
Well, after you and I watched them play in their first game of this tournament, we were both very, very impressed and excited to see what they can do. It was all defense in the first half. As you see the statistics, numbers offensively much better in the second half as both teams got rolling. But it was all about Latvia defense in that fourth quarter. And also Zurichs coming up big. He had most of his points. He had 2 points going into the fourth quarter, ends up finishing with 11, I think it was. That was an 11-27 fourth quarter win for Latvia, which secured this historic win for them in their program and their country.
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge. You see both sides. We're going to look at the best plays. And keeping Spain, forget everything else, keeping Spain to 11 in the fourth. Enormous performance. And we said at the half, were they going to be able to shoot enough threes? And they did. They really got going in the second half. Unbelievable. Coach Benke and his roster. And let's talk about Coach Benke for a second. He sat Smits with the 4 fouls. And then he sat Zagars for a chunk of time. And they're always looking for people to step up. And he just rode that. He rode those decisions.
He rode it, yeah, he sat Schmitz as soon as he picked up his fourth. I was wondering when he was going to put him back in the fourth quarter. But you know what, Grazulis, and I think Kurix did a great job defensively and offensively. And I think, he has trust. Coach Benke has trust in his players no matter who he puts on the court right now. And it's definitely paying off, because I think they're playing like their coach has confidence in them as well. And what a game, what a win. You really can't say enough about this Latvian team. I thought today's game specifically was very defensive, and it was fun to watch. And then in the second half, we saw both teams go on some great, great runs offensively. And, heading into the fourth, they said, well, Spain's going to do it like they always do. They're going to wear this Latvian team down. But I was wrong in the right way for Latvia.
Well, I tell you, the implications of that win Obviously, Canada have to play later on. But when it comes to comparisons and head-to-heads, Spain are going to have to beat Canada to get to the next round, which makes that game a huge, huge game. But for the moment, let's just enjoy the fact that this Latvian team have just done an amazing job. They've beaten France, have now beaten Spain. They've got 1 foot in the quarterfinals. What a performance by them. We're going to get confirmation of what that means in the table right now. Latvia have a 3-1 record, the same as Spain. If they finish, the head-to-head is with Latvia. Canada play Brazil later on. That has so much meaning, and what you wouldn't give for a Brazil win to leave this group with deciding games in 2 days' time. But from Shona and I, from Jakarta, loved it. Good night.